Once it's all sounds good. I haven't done it.
After I explained that, you're going to all of the stuff he knows. Damn.
Maybe not. Maybe that's why it's so good.
Expected to know time.
Yeah. But it's the same thing. It's just you know, the biggest thing is DNR. It strikes me that you can that's what I'm saying. I heard that this is the actual research for this last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'll talk
She gave me a little bit of pointers, but it's like if this when it gets on. That's why I
Right.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Ely City Council to order. If we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Are you ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome all of you to our regularly scheduled council meeting of November 21st, 2023. We are a little bit light to one side of the table, so I'm going to try to go a little bit slow as Harold's got one side of the table, so we are a little bit light on that side. So a little bit of grace and a little bit of understanding as he's filling many roles tonight. So thank you all in advance for that. Moving forward. Carol, can you please call the roll?
Sure, roll call. Councilor Forsman. Here. Councilor Cass. Here. Councilor DeBelts. Here. Councilor Callan. Here. Councilor Campbell. Councilor Bisbee. Here. Mayor Merza.
I am here. We do have a quorum, so we can go ahead and conduct business. I need a motion to approve our minutes from the November 7th, 2023 regular council meeting. Motion by Jerome, supported by Adam. Any changes to the minutes? Any changes? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion. All right. Is it, everything's approved then? Oh my gosh, my brain tonight. It was a long day in kindergarten today, everyone. Long day. All right. Everyone in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Minutes are approved. All right, we have 4 additions to our agenda this evening. Do we have any other additions to our agenda? Any other additions? Any omissions? Just check it.
I move the additions as presented.
Thank you. Moved by Paul, supported by Ryan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have ourselves an agenda this evening. All right, I have a couple things under Mayor's report. The first is last Friday, Senator Hochschild is doing a whole Stronger North roundtable discussions, just talking about what is happening up north and getting different groups of people together. He already has had a few that I've been invited to. I was able to make the Stronger Families one. A few people in the room actually were there. And basically it was looking out for our youngest and our wisest. I listened a lot, talked very little. It was nice to see all the people around the table and a lot of the conversations that happened. Shockingly, childcare was brought up. Also, the enrollment at school and how schools are funded was another big topic. And probably the third topic was mental health, essentially. So he's going to be coming back around, talking about it again, and seeing what can be done, basically at the state level, because that's where hopefully some other things can happen. So, and second, and more important, I would say, is that our joint legislative luncheon is coming up on December 11th, right, Boomer? Is that right? 11th?
December 11th. Yep.
At 11:30 at the Gel. So if there's things as a city that we need to bring forward to our legislators, we need to start thinking about that as a city. And if you would like to go, we should probably also talk about that and make it a meeting as well. I'd like a motion for that, please. Moved by Al, supported by Paul. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
What time is that scheduled?
I have it starting at 11:30 to 2, I believe. Right?
Yep, 11:30 with lunch, meeting will start right in the room.
Great, thank you. So we can have discussions about that later too, but if you have any things that we really should discuss, let the clerk's office know and we can move forward with it. All right, thank you. I need a motion to waive the readings in their entirety of all ordinances and resolutions on tonight's agenda. Motion by Jerome, supported by Ryan. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have one request to appear. City Shveka? Shveka. Sorry, City.
No, that's just
All
fine.
right. We have your packets.
Perfect. Well, thank you for the opportunity to appear. Mostly, I'm here to just share a little bit of information regarding what the Tourism Bureau currently does and what we're planning to do in the future to continue to support events that take place in our area. And then, of course, just be available for questions and suggestions for the council to bring back to the Tourism Bureau Board of Directors. So, we put together here this beautiful presentation for you, but to start it off, just a reminder of some of the larger platforms that the Tourism Bureau facilitates through our partnership with the Ely Chamber of Commerce. Ely.org is the most prominent website within the Ely area, showcasing more than just attractions, but things to do, places to stay, places to eat, and why, in general, we believe that Ely is just one of the best places on earth. So, with that being said, that is our predominant platform. Everything that we do drives traffic back to the website in anticipation that people will plan a vacation, or beyond that, consider Ely for a destination to relocate to, find more information even as a local. Secondly, I would like to pride our team on the ability to listen to our brand partners and other stakeholders when ago we rebranded, there was a conversation that took place of what's kind of the, to put it gently, where are some of the potential brand reputation, where are some of the brand reputation falling short? And unanimously the answer was What's Up Ely Facebook group. And so we, as the Tourism Bureau's marketing team, took that as an opportunity to gain a little bit more of a management structure and style, and we now facilitate that page. Cleaned it up dramatically, which I'm quite proud of. I think that it has only shown in the number of followers. When we started, it was just under 7,000, and now we're at 22,000. So we can credit a lot of that to our podcast series that continues to gain momentum. We have no less than 500 downloads on every episode of the What's Up Ely podcast. Secondly, to our What's Up Ely Facebook page, which is just a group actually. We have our True Visit Ely, which is the official Facebook page. So everything that we do from a social media standpoint goes through Visit Ely MN. So that is, if you're not already following us on social media, I do highly recommend it. That's the way you're going to see a lot of what I'll be talking about here today. So those are just our kind of basic overall platforms that we facilitate as a part of our budget, fiduciary responsibility, and then just management style to keep that cohesive brand and welcoming atmosphere across Ely's most prominent forward-facing elements. So in regards to social sharing, you'll see here that we have a host of examples. We do not require that any of these events contribute directly from a monetary or from a graphic design standpoint. In fact, if we find that they don't have graphics, for example, we worked with the Ride and Rally last year to assist them with creating their graphic design work, just to assist them getting, up off of the ground and what they were celebrating as a very successful event. We have here just a few examples. I don't know, do you want me to? And so we also have a Google form. So people are saying in advance, we'd like to, we have our event listed on ely.org. We are sharing to What's Up Ely directly, because if you're familiar with how that works, that is the responsibility of a given entity. They have their Facebook page, they would go share to What's Up Ely. But they want to be featured on Visit Ely MN, great. We have a Google form, they fill that out. If they don't have enticing graphics, we assist them with that front. And then we share that to our Facebook feed, and then our Facebook Reels, Instagram Stories, and Instagram Highlights. Just to put a few stats in front of you, in addition to the pre-event promotion, we do cover events. So for example, the Winter Festival, because of the duration that it extends, we have actually found last year specifically, our marketing director, Amber Ely, attire, was out taking pictures and video with her family and in the park, and someone came up to her and said, "Oh my gosh, we saw the reels on it yesterday. We drove up and we're going to the film festival. We're so excited." ... So, in reality, these larger events can be covered in real time and still gain promotional activity. Not to say that we haven't been promoting them in anticipation leading up to the event. These are just in the yellow box there, the real stats, and so those were plays, likes, and shares, and the number of accounts reached. That was only Instagram. Facebook stats were not gathered because, unfortunately, not anticipating needing to prepare this, we had them it's like a Facebook story, it disappears. We didn't capture that data. In the future, we certainly will do so. Further examples, and just a few of the comments that you can see just to show the excitement that our activity does generate. These are just some images, screenshots of the specific posts, and they just got to town. Wish we could be there. I'm here, can't wait. Nice job, Ely. Looks fun. I mean, these are a beautiful place. Looks amazing this year. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Wolf Track Classic, which, just to be completely transparent, the question regarding our collaboration with the Chamber was raised, and we do celebrate their events along with them. So this is shared content directly from the Wolf Track Classic Sled Dog Race Facebook page. So we are just helping boost their content. So because of our reshare, there was an additional 18,942 accounts that were reached. The reels were 5,495 plays, and that's Facebook and Instagram combined, because we were sharing that with the chamber to show them how much we love them. Other Tourism Bureau event promotion samples. These again are going to be a lot of the larger events that take place, but in addition, some of the smaller events that take place. NLAA hosts a lot of local events that we feel would draw from a regional area, but specifically what I think is the most important to keep in mind from a visitor standpoint is that as we draw people to consider Ely as their vacation destination over, say, going out to the Black Hills or Wisconsin Dells or out to Colorado, to Disney World. What they do is they go to our social media, they see the activity level, they go to our Facebook pages, they go to our website. They are just picking up little morsels of what makes Ely special, and it keeps them thinking about Ely, coming back and saying, wow, there's a lot that goes on there. So it's really not so much about saying, what am I going to do next Saturday? But it's so much, as much as it is saying, where are we going to go so that there's something that we can all enjoy doing? And when they come to the Ely pages, they see that that activity level exists. The ATV riding has just been a huge increase that we've tried to support, and I think that that's something that we're going to continue to educate ourselves as marketers on. Certainly through our new content collection, we have a lot more to work with. That was our biggest pitfall, shortcoming, previous to this past year, this past fall, when we collected over 200, I would say, premier quality images. It was over 1,000, but 200 of them I would say are print ready or digital ready, and then several hours of raw footage, which, by the way, we share in Canto, which is our content collection software that basically is an online catalog. We provided login information to our brand partners, the City of Ely, the Chamber, but also to area stakeholders so that they can access that content themselves and use it to benefit their organization, their mission, as long as it fits the requirements of the use of lodging tax. Okay, our podcast. This is the thing that I just can't get over. I really cannot stress this enough, that up until this year, so starting in 2024, will be the first time that we are actively promoting or advertising our podcast. Up until this moment, or up until that moment, this will have been organic marketing, or organic growth, completely. So every episode, there is a local event rundown, or roundup as they call it. Everything from community dances to larger events, live music opportunities, art and theater shows. Most recently, there was a really great one about the bar trivia, and that had people really, excited about it because so many people have come to our area recently and are looking for those outlets, social outlets, to get to know people. You can come as a single and join a group, have some beverages, and just basically have a great time. And so I heard that after our podcast episode aired, they had one of their record turnouts, which is just fantastic. Lacey and Brett do a wonderful job with the podcast. They do all of the prep work and organizing and lining up the guest speakers, and the guest speakers have represented a host of organizations. And so you'll see in the corner of the What's Up Ely podcast tiles, those are the thumbnails that accompany each of the episodes. So each one of those episodes, episode 1, 2, all the way 3, 4, they're just out of order on 3 and 4, and all the way through here, they list the events that are being covered. Ely Mass Singer event with Molly Olson. She did a great, there it is, episode 15, the bar trivia for applause. Barb Hall discussed the Root Beer Lady musical. We have the Ely Marathon. And let me just jump back to this real quick. If we didn't stress this enough, how many plays that we've had. This is almost 23,000 plays. It's a lot. Okay, moving forward, because we understand that there's always more we can do, and to stress that the Tourism Bureau, although we've been in organization for 40 years, only in the last 5 years have I really felt that we've opened doors and had that communication standpoint with our community to be taking feedback in. And so there is a lot more to do, and we have a lot of really great ideas to do it. In 2024, we already have it queued up. We'll be launching the Ely Journal, and this is something that will be a public email newsletter that promotes upcoming events. And this is going to be combined. We are absorbing Ely Connect from the Chamber of Commerce, and then resurrecting the Visit Ely newsletter, but thought that having a no redundancy, a unified front was a better forward-facing outward appearance for a newsletter of this nature. So the Chamber and the Tourism Bureau are partnering up on that, and the Tourism Bureau will be taking the lead. So this is just a screenshot of what that will roughly look like. But then there's a backside to it. So we have a biannual stakeholder email, and this is going to be a newsletter that goes out to our local population. This will have resources, updates, and news sent to interested area lodging taxpayers. Of course, everyone can choose to opt out if they should not be interested in this information. Our brand partners, so all of you would have that opportunity to receive, local nonprofit organizations, and just generally any very interested and involved local community members. And probably some people who might just think that we're up to some really great stuff and be curious how Ely does it all. But we have definitely anticipated here, we have a long list of things we want to include. Useful marketing and event planning worksheets and resources. These are things that we have already compiled, as well as some best practice documents that we've learned through some trial and error, but just basically our marketing team and the destination marketing experience that they have, so that we can share some of those tidbits with those who are marketing their business or marketing an event or their organization. There are co-op programs that are available through Explore Minnesota that are discounted marketing opportunities that basically for sometimes upwards of 50% off, they can buy into really great deals to market at least a state level. It's predominantly all in-state spending. Local event grants do exist, such as Love and Lake County. So for those of you who have been following along with the last 2 years of the transition from the Lake County, from our traditional lodging tax practices to the Lake County-wide lodging tax, it jumped from 3% to 4%, and that additional 1% is put into a pool, and that is the Love and Lake County Event Grant Fund. Any event that takes place, or a portion of the event that takes place in Fall Lake Township or Stony River Township, should apply for this grant. They have a minimum application of $1,000, and they have a cap of $10,000 per year for an individual organization. And if there is a necessity for a fiscal agent, and I would definitely suggest that the interested party get in touch with me, and I can help facilitate that happen. So just as kind of a reminder here of the doors that we feel we've already opened, and not to say that there isn't more that we would love to. Oh good, Sarah put and plus more on there. We look forward to continue working closely with our partners to support and promote area events and continue to fulfill our mission of supporting and promoting sustainable area tourism as a whole. We have the Forest Service now. We can officially use that logo in relation to our partnership, because for the first time, Ely has opened up a line of communication and funding directly from the Forest Service. And we have our chamber, we have the city of Ely, Explore Minnesota, who has become very reliant upon the Tourism Bureau here in Ely for promotional content. We actually communicate with them multiple times a week, providing them images and text narrative that we have on hand. Not many DMOs are that prepared to assist their state agency, but we are, and they definitely take advantage of that, which we are grateful for. We get a lot of earned media out of that relationship. Sarah is the newest board member of Club Masabi. The Starry Skies North is something we're looking to continue to celebrate as a part of our Dark Sky Sanctuary, and of course, Love and Lake County. that is the presentation that I put together in regards to the current and forward plans for event promotion. With that being said, I would be very open to taking any questions or addressing any concerns from the board, or the council, I should say. I understand that there's been a lot of conversation about it, and I've been kept in the loop based on some of it, but
I think Al has a question.
Sure. So I know at the would be the Economic Development Authority and maybe here at the council, we've talked a lot about the Ride the Range initiative and becoming a partner on that. And there is a fee that's required for us to be a partner, but with the investment that we've been putting into the trails around here, you mentioned the Prospector loop and getting a lot of stuff to go with that. It seems to me that it would be a great partnership for the Ely Tourism Bureau, and I think that they're marketing to a whole nother population than a lot of the stuff goes out to. So I hope you're open to that.
I think we are. I had a really lengthy conversation with Beth Pierce, and she filled me in on the last time we spoke. We didn't have the required number of miles, but I guess that's something they're willing to waive at this point. And I had a conversation with Harold and with John Fido as well. It's, you know, I don't consider that necessarily event promotion. I think that that's a sponsorship for like a recreational avenue that we're interested in expanding upon. And so I don't foresee that having a lot of pushback, and I'm certainly there is room in the budget for 2024 to participate at the full level. And the fact that they're willing to make room for us at the table, I think is very flattering and exciting, and it shows that they're seeing Ely as a community that's investing in their trail systems. You know, we've joked that it's not necessarily quantity, but the quality, and we have a lifestyle up here that is of similar caliber to the other destinations that are part of that Ride the Range program. So,
Harold?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, Cindy. You know, as we developed our Hidden Valley Trail system, we started out with a goal of being a destination. You know, and they loosely within the industry say, well, you need 25 miles to be a destination. Well, when you look at all the trail systems being developed across the Iron Range, all the way from Crosby, Ironton, Tioga, and Cohasset, all the way across to Ely, you know, there are hundreds of miles of mountain bike trails being developed. So this summer we did a ribbon cutting, and Jordan Metza from Redhead on came from Iron World, I always forget its name, sorry. But Discovery Center, he came and did some cross marketing for us, which really, you know, caught a lot of attention. And actually, we had a trail counter out on the trails this summer. I actually didn't even know it was there. Almost 10,000 bikes went by that trail counter this summer on the miles we have there. So when you say, you know, quality is over quantity, absolutely. But in that system, there's 8 miles of single track, there's 25 kilometers of ski trail that are easily ridden by bike, walkers, you know, every type of outdoor recreation activity in the summer. And right now we have over 6 miles of additional miles that are mapped out already sitting on my desk, and we're getting prepared to submit that to the state for an amendment to our lease out of Hidden Valley. So, you know, it is growing considerably. You know, it is bringing people to town. So, yes, Cindy, myself, and John had a good meeting the other day, and excited about what this will bring. And we have to work with Nordic Ski and Bike Club, so they realize, you know, this will bring a lot more people, which is good, but it also requires a little bit more maintenance on the trail side of things. So no, this is great. This is what we envisioned when Mark Phillips years ago did the Recharge the Range meetings at the Discovery Center, and it was about cross marketing the Iron Range and trying to collaborate, much like has never been done. So this is a good opportunity.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I'm excited about it too. I think that at the, end of the day, really everybody understands that the inclusivity rather than the exclusivity is what brings new, people to an area. Kind of that rising tide raises all ships. If you're interested in mountain biking, then northeastern Minnesota's for you. And then, with that also being said, there is a couple of requirements of the, contributing communities. They do need someone to sit on the board, and I would like for someone who's knowledgeable about mountain biking and the trails to be that individual. And then also the content and the written narrative aspect of it, I think our Tourism Bureau marketing team can facilitate. So there's a couple small boxes to check in addition to the Tourism Bureau's final approval. But yeah.
Just the person, like,
Perfect. And Beth said she would touch base with me after the holidays, or after Thanksgiving, so I will send a message and let Paul inform the council of that next step.
Thank you. Anything? Excuse me, go ahead.
I like that you presented the plays, the likes, the downloads, the shares. I'm wondering what other type of measurable data that you might have to show success in these efforts as far as engagement, participation.
So much. I will bring an end of the year recap for you, and then we'll do our 2024 looking forward. If we actually took the full scope of each of our different vendors' metrics, we could spend hours looking into it. We've put together a pretty beautiful template of the number of people that we reach on a daily basis, and right now we're at 110,000 people per day that have Ely in front of their eyes or ears, and I'm only hoping that we can continue to grow that number through strategic marketing and reducing the number of unmeasurable marketing campaigns that we're taking part in.
Thank you.
So directly behind you, you have one of our baseball coaches. Is there any way that you can help more of our local people? I know you wrote us the letter, but I didn't read it. I apologize. If not monetarily, is there other ways you can try to help some of our local people who do help bring people to Ely but are struggling? And I know that you have a specific way you do things, which we appreciate. I don't want to take away from what you're doing, but to help some of the people who are more homegrown, who have been doing the same thing year after year and are successful, but to maybe help take some of the burden off of them because they might be just a 2 or 3 person show. I'm just curious. And what could they do to help? What could they do to reach out to you?
I would say, my email is tourism@ely.org.
Okay.
We'll start there. And I would say it has to be a sit down. It has to be a conversation where we learn what their goals are.
Okay.
Marketing is pretty generic of a term, and it depends entirely. I mean, we have a set of, it's funny. We have people that we've created who, are examples of the individuals that we market to. We have a young woman who lives in the Twin Cities, and she drives a certain vehicle, and she makes a certain amount of money and has an occupation that is, this. We have, a gentleman who's a little bit older, lives in Iowa, So who we're trying to reach through our marketing efforts, we need to find out who those people are for a given event. Find out what their budgetary constraints are and what their goals are, and those, with some of the information, we can certainly help build a set of suggestions. And within those suggestions, I would be transparent here and put myself on record, happy to help in any way that we can.
Any other questions?
Okay.
All right, thank you so much for
Yes,
coming.
no, thank you
Appreciate it.
for your
Very
time.
nice.
I appreciate it, and I think I'm gonna stick around in case at the joint powers agreement point, we have any questions. Okay. Thank you.
Moving on to committee reports. Police Commission, do we have anything?
Well, I don't know, this mostly for, or this is mostly.
That was the last
weekend.
police commission meeting. We didn't have one this month.
Yeah, this is, okay.
All right, Planning and zoning, is there anything to report? I have it. Excuse me. Okay. Planning and zoning, is there anything to report? I see nothing on our packet. Projects.
I have one motion. Motion from Progress Committee to direct staff to work with the OX to draft a development agreement for the depot project.
And is that a motion?
It's a motion.
Is there support? Support by Jerome. First person, okay, sorry. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Just a
Paul.
question about when the appropriate time is to maybe discuss the details of what they're proposing, when it will become public.
Yes, and any terms of that development agreement will be going back through the projects committee and then of course to the council for further discussion and consideration.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Anything for HRA? Yeah, it's Angela's, but nothing in the, all right, moving on to budget. Who wants to take that? Al, go ahead.
Yes, we had a budget meeting yesterday, and we do have a recommendation from the budget committee to approve the 2024 budget. And that's a motion.
It's a motion. Is there support? Support by Paul. Discussion. Go ahead, Al.
And this budget that we have approved is actually what we had put forth before with the 2.99% levy increase. And I don't know if, I was surprised that we actually didn't have it in here, but yeah, it is, actually had been published in our previous agendas in minutes, correct?
It's in here under new business, I believe,
Oh, sure.
52 through 79. And we will have our truth and taxation presentation on December 5th at, I believe, 6 o'clock here in the council chambers to go over the specifics of the budget. And just as a reminder, the levy will not be adopted until the last meeting in December. And until that time, the council does have the opportunity to lower that levy, but does not have an opportunity to raise it or increase it. So.
A second. Did we second that?
Yes.
motion? Okay. Discussion. Go ahead.
This signals our intent then to go with a budget that was developed through late summer and with the department heads and considered by us as we went to the levy setting in September. So nothing's really changed from that. We can go down from there, as Cheryl suggested, but we don't see much of that. This seems really solid.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And we have a recommendation from the budget committee to approve the purchase of the scan tool for the shop for $4,790.01, and that's a motion.
Is there support? Support by Jerome. Discussion. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
We have a recommendation from the budget committee to authorize the purchase of a snow bucket for the skid steer at a cost of $1,590 from L&L Rental. That's a motion.
Support? Support by Adam. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
We have a recommendation from the budget committee to authorize Chief Hood to continue developing a retention and recruitment incentive plan to be submitted to the council for approval at the December 5th meeting. That's a motion.
Is there support? Supported by Jerome. Any discussion? It's gonna be good. Just wait. It's gonna be songs, dances. There's not gonna be anything like that. It's gonna be kind of.
might be.
It's unique.
Yeah,
It's very unique.
I'll dance.
No, we don't, no, that's, that would not be an incentive. No incentive. I think we have people in the room that might be involved, though, I hope, to help us make it look pretty. We need to make it look pretty. All right, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
We have a recommendation from the Budget Committee to increase the 2023 Fire Department budget to reflect the additional $16,000 received to cover training expenses. That's a motion.
Is there support? Support by Jerome. Discussion. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Oh, go ahead. Do you want to explain?
Actually, I think it'd be great if Chief
Yeah.
Marshall would
Could
explain
you
why
explain
that
what that
additional money
is?
came this way.
That's-
There's a state organization called Minnesota Board of Firefighter Training and Education. That organization, that board is funded through the state legislature every year. Those dollars are allocated out to fire departments based on membership in the fire department and also how much the legislature allocates. And Ely had $9,600 this year to start with. We used that money up for training. It's our intention to use that full amount every year, but not all departments use their allocation from the state. So there was a reallocation at the end of the state's fiscal year, at the end of June, and we put in for some additional training resources. I kind of shot high. Maybe I should have shot higher because it was fully funded. So that's money that comes back to us from the state, but it is dedicated. It needs to be used for the training resources that I submitted for it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you for going after that money. We appreciate it. All right, any other, is that all of them? Yeah. Any other committee reports that we need to discuss? Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, so the Parks and Rec Board was, had received from an email from Harold, actually, a notification that the DNR was accepting applications, grant applications for the No Child Left Inside program that they offered. And with the deadline looming and the knowledge that Ely Community Resources was currently in the process of applying for that grant, we opted to make a motion to provide a letter of support to ECR, and if that letter of support could come from the council at the request of Parks and Rec, we'd appreciate that. So an endorsement for ECR, yes.
Is there support? Support by Al. Any discussion? No child left behind, is that?
Inside.
Inside.
No child left inside.
Oh. Another acronym we need to memorize. Schools, government is so good at acronyms. Any discussion? Do you know what the due date is on that?
December 12th.
Thank you.
So it would not have been enough time for Parks and Rec to.
Yeah, no, I just, because of our full staff right here.
Mhm.
just wanna make
Oh,
sure.
anyway. Anything Julie needs.
We'll get it figured out. I just want to make sure we are mindful of that. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Eddie, go ahead.
Just before we leave committee reports, I want to remind the council once again that the annual RAMS meeting is December 14th.
Oh my gosh.
Already?
Do we need to RSVP for that, don't we?
Yes, I think Casey usually makes the reservation. We'll have one more council meeting before it pops up on us, but many of us have already forgotten about it, so I thought I'd remind us.
I have it in my calendar. but I forgot about it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Departmental reports. Harold, do you have anything?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
All right. Fire chief.
Yeah, just a quick report. Since the last time we met, Ely Fire has responded to 17 medical calls and no fire calls. We also had a great training night with where we were able to utilize one of the structures in town slated for demolition, and it's always great when you have a building that you can practice search and rescue on, or firefighter rescues, or ventilation, forcible entry, some of those kinds of things. So we were grateful to be able to have that resource. That's all I have.
Library director, Rachel.
Well, I just wanted to start by talking about something that just happened at the library. Usually I talk about things that are coming up in terms of events. But on Saturday, we had our Murder Mystery Roaring 20s event. We had 35 people there, And I have never seen a group of people come and be that committed to their characters and dressing up. It was like having amateur theater hour the entire time. There are some pictures on Facebook. If you know people who went, I would say, you know, let them tell you about it, because everybody seemed to be having a great time. And seven people did end up solving the mystery correctly, so they got the joyous candy bars like Charleston Chew and things like that, because we go for big prizes at the library. I will also say that if you missed it, you can still have a little taste of the event, because we chalked out the steps to the Charleston underneath the overhang going into the building. So Chad, you can brush up on your dancing with the Charleston. So if you see those there, before it snows or rains, you can learn how to do the Charleston too. In terms of programs coming up, starting tomorrow at 3 p.m., we have the Junie B. Jones Kahoot. So if you have kids in your life that you've read that to or have read it, you can have them sign up for the online trivia contest that will run through Tuesday, November 28th. We will be closed Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving. Thursday next week, November 23rd at 3 p.m., we will be having another Get Crafty, and that one will be snowman crafts. And finally, I just wanted to say publicly congratulations to our library assistant, Tricia Flake. Tricia got her master's degree. She finished her master's degree in library science at the end of last week. So now we have 2 masters of library science at the library. Maybe we'll convince Jessie to do it too someday, but I think she's a little busy right now. So if you see Tricia, tell her good job. So that's all I have.
Congratulations, sir. Yes.
I'd like to make a motion, send a letter, congratulations, Tricia.
Is there support for that? Support by Paul. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm just wondering, the 7 people that solve the mystery, if they're interested in a career in
I could. So you can talk to about that.
You work for the police force.
Yes, that's what I'm going for.
Alright, Police Chief, what's up?
Can you see in your agenda packet?
Yes.
Unfortunately, we do have another resignation. Officer Ward is from southern Minnesota, and he's accepted a position with the city of Winona. You know, we had a good conversation about it when he told me, and when you're that far from home, inevitably you're going to want to get closer. Money obviously helps, if you see in his resignation letter, but he's been a great addition to our department, and he's already recruiting his sister to come work for us when she graduates here this fall, so he will be missed. You guys can accept his resignation.
We need a motion to accept his letter of resignation. Motion by Jerome, supported by Ryan. Any discussion? Do you have discussion? Yeah.
Along with accepting his resignation, I'd like to send a letter of thanks to him for serving the city of Ely as a police officer.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Keep up with the good news. We did not get our grant for school resource officer. It's my hope that we reapply and attempt to get it when it reopens, but at this time we were not picked.
Did other schools get it, or did they close the program? I'm just curious because of the...
No, it didn't get closed, but there was a very few that were awarded in Minnesota. I don't have the number on the top of my head. Mike Lorenz received the email, but it was a small amount. And then calendar parking is still in effect. We are going to be starting to write the citations instead of the friendly warnings, so just be aware of that. And then also, good news, our new officer, Courtney Schernhammer, will be starting next week. She's currently on vacation. Will be here, I think, next Tuesday is her first day.
Excellent.
Hopefully we'll be doing a swearing-in ceremony sometime in December. I'll check with what's good with her parents, and we'll do that.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions for? Okay. Very good. City Attorney. We need to, let's see, motion to accept the record, the mortgage satisfaction for Ely Steakhouse. recorded on December 13th, 2019 as document number 013695516 for their storefront rental. Motion made by Al, supported by Jerome. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Nothing from the city engineer. Moving on to our two communications. Anything we want to discuss on either one of those? Want to discuss anything?
Item
Go ahead. Yeah, we did get a letter from the senior center. Do we want to do anything about it, or do we just want to take it as information for right now? Go ahead, Paul.
No, it was a request from the senior
We
center.
can't hear you.
Sorry.
Please, thank you.
Was a request from the senior center to potentially help and support their need for fixing their heating system. And we've allocated $7,500 to them, but that's in next year's budget, and they probably need the money now. And so there was discussion in the budget committee and the Herald to find ways that some other sources that they could turn to, whether that's AEOA or other community resources or foundations that might be willing to help them out. It's an important part of our community. And maybe as a fallback, we can look to using next year's money this year. But that's where we are with it. We can support and encourage, and I think Harold will maybe meet with them to give them some of these ideas.
It's also been from what I have heard, it was a misunderstanding that maybe that wasn't exactly what they were looking for, that they just wanted to communicate that to us. Harold, go ahead.
I actually did give them a copy of our commercial loan program today as well. I did go to the senior center this morning, kind of looked at what the issue is. We actually did source a replacement pump. Come to find out it's not the pump, it's the actual control, the float control that has the issue. So we did have our staff take a look at it, see if we could provide any assistance. I don't know if they were able to get anything to work, but the repairs are on order. The repair has been ordered for this. So we'll work with them, and if there's other opportunities, we'll certainly explore those with them. So,
Thank you, Harold.
yep.
That's great.
We're there to help. We're always there to help. All right, moving on to claims for payment. One at a time or all of them? What's your will, council? Ryan,
So move A through D for claims for payment.
is there support? Supported by Jerome. Any discussion on any of them? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. No old business? Moving on to new business. Resolution 2023-30, resolution of support for the CASA 156 Harvey Street Reconstruction Project CP 156-299087. I need a motion. Motion by Ryan, supported by Jerome. Any discussion? Any discussion? Do you have discussion?
Yeah, I just question if they do get the money and stuff, when do they plan on starting the project, Harold?
This will be 2025. You can see the section being scheduled at this time is from Central Avenue to 9th Avenue East. You know, it has been on the list for quite some time for complete reconstruction from Central Avenue all the way to Highway 1. Just as everything, prices have escalated over time, so it's having to be broken into phases. Also, another portion of that project, another county state aid CASA route, is 15th Avenue, actually from Camp Street all the way through to James Street. And that's another section that'll be done at a later date. So I've been working closely with the county attorney or county public works engineer for the last couple of years, and this is of course, nothing's ever certain, but we were hoping for 24. Came to light a couple months ago that was gonna have to be 25, so we also are tying in a bunch of other infrastructure improvements to this project. So, you know, just, we'll have to be patient for another year or so.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, Harold, could you please call the roll?
Certainly. Counselor Forsman,
Yes.
Counselor Cass,
Yes.
Counselor DeBelts,
Yes.
Counselor Callan,
Yes.
Counselor Campbell, Counselor Bisbee,
Yes.
Mayor Emerson.
Yes. The resolution passes. Moving on to amended and restated joint powers agreement with the Ely Area Lodging Tax Board. Need a motion. Motion by Paul, supported by Ryan. Discussion. Go ahead, Paul.
Now, this is an important document in the sense that it updates the joint powers agreement, the lodging tax board, that authorizes the collection of taxes, and then moving those taxes onto the tourism bureau. This was been reviewed by the entities. I sent a copy to Kelly some time ago, didn't get any particular feedback, but the biggest reviewer was St. Louis County, and that took City Hall to take a year almost.
Oh, almost 2.
Yeah, for it to get through the county board, the speed of government, as it were. And they had their changes, and they prefer to be last in the signatory line. There are 5 signatures that are required. So each of the entities has to approve this, and the county board. So that's where we are with this. I'm recommending that we go forward with this as presented.
Were there any particular changes, any major changes from the last one to this one that we should be aware of, Paul?
Well, the addition of St. Louis County.
Okay.
And a number of unincorporated areas.
Okay, so it's more adding.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And a modernization of the language.
Makes sense. Little things.
The
like that.
legalese.
Got it. Any other discussion or questions? Do we just do a roll call vote, or can we just do a voice vote on this, or does it need to be roll call?
I think it'd be a roll call to resolution.
Yeah, it's a resolution.
All right,
So,
roll call. Harold, can you please call the roll?
Counselor Forsman,
Yes.
Counselor Cass.
Yes.
Counselor DeBelts,
Yes.
Counselor Callan,
Yes.
Counselor Campbell, Counselor Bisbee,
Yes.
Mayor Emerson.
Yes. All right. It is passed, our amended and restated joint powers agreement. We're on board. Now we just need to wait for everybody else, as always. All right, moving on. Resolution 2023-31, resolution of the City of Ely City Council regarding the application for the Community Development Block Grant Program for the Ely Water System Improvement Project. I need a motion. Motion by Jerome, supported by Ryan. Discussion. Any discussion? Seeing none, Harold, can you please call the roll?
Counselor Forsman,
Yes.
Counselor Cass.
Yes.
Counselor DeBelts,
Yes.
Counselor Callan.
Yes.
Counselor Campbell, Counselor Bisbee,
Yes.
Mayor Emerson.
Yes, resolution passes. And pages 52 through 79 are proposed 2024 budget.
You did approve that previously under committee reports.
For your information, if you have any questions, talk to Harold or any of us, but we are prepared. Go ahead.
Since John Essie isn't here, I'd like to remind the council to look at the percentage of local government aid that we get to support our budget. That's on page 52 as you look at your revenues. As you look at that, the importance of local government aid to our local budget is substantial. And so that's why it will continue to be a priority for our legislative goals.
It is always a huge priority. It is a needed thing for us. Agreed.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Moving on, additions to our agenda, approve Premier Pyrotechnics to shoot the 2024 maybe? 4th, just making a little correction there. 4th of July fireworks for $20,000. Addition, hang on, please hold.
Yes. Yes, that is correct.
All right, just make it.
4th of July, 2024.
Just want to make sure. All right. I need a motion. So, Al and Paul, any discussion? Go ahead.
I'm just wondering if there's any change on this from previous years? Is this just business as usual in regards to this?
Business as usual, as we currently are planning it. We're always looking for a revision to our launch site, but that'll be handled as time gets closer. So we're planning for 4th of July fireworks as we always do.
Paul and then Jerome.
And we will make this payment by December 1st to get the discount.
That's correct.
Jerome?
Last year wasn't it 15,000 Harold, but,
I'm pretty certain it was 20, I believe so. We do take donations, it does cover some of the costs of the fireworks, so.
thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. All right. We have one request, or we have one open forum request. Frederica. That's great.
Thank you. I'm Frederica Musgrave. I live at 30 West Shagawa Road, and once again, I want to thank you for your time and efforts working for the city, making it better, and I appreciate some of the changes I've seen, and some of the meetings and minutes. Progress still needs to be made, but we're moving forward, so I thank you. I'm standing here because I know you have a study session, a joint study session with Planning and Zoning next Tuesday. We've got a full agenda. There's something about development as well as the, what should I say, the conditional use permits and other coding. And I'd like you to, if you need to, have a third study session to discuss the sound ordinances. There's nothing really in the Master City code that I can't find anything, and I know several months ago, it might have been back in the spring, Planning and Zoning was going to deal with the sound ordinance issues, and then they decided not to because they disagreed with the state statutes regarding decimal levels, and they were talking about 1 or 2 developments going on, and they stopped that. It is really important to know what the decimal levels are that are acceptable and not acceptable when we're talking about developments in the city. And you know, I'm not saying I'm against this and that on developments, but I can't go to a public hearing or a session when I don't know what the acceptable levels are. There are some standardized levels that are annoying and disturbing. Okay, dog barking is not as disturbing and as annoying as snowmobiles, lawnmowers, ATVs. Okay, and we talked about that together in council during those study sessions. And so this other noise that's being brought up or will be brought up, it's really important when the city and the planning and zoning people and other people talk to developers that they talk about noise and sound ordinances with specifics, so they don't go spend money on this fancy, expensive equipment and find out it doesn't meet the noise levels. And also going to a public hearing when there's no established decimal levels. No one, as residents anyway, has the ability to say, hey, this noise is above this decimal level, because it's not established. So I'd like you to review that, consider putting some specifics in the sound ordinances. Thank you.
Anybody else? With that, before I adjourn, I hope everyone has a safe, healthy, happy Thanksgiving. Eat lots, take lots of pictures, safe travels, and have a wonderful week. We are adjourned.